Well, hello there and welcome to Mind Your Business. I'm Jennifer Anderson, host of the show and executive director of the Georgina Chamber of Commerce. Well, I'm very excited about today's show. It's a little bit of learning, a little bit of information, and a way for us to raise some awareness and really leverage the awareness for this great initiative. After the success of last year's initiative, Rogers Sports and Media has launched All In 2022. It's an initiative that includes giving a minimum of $10 million to advertising and creative services over the next 5 years to charities and small businesses that support equity-deserving communities. I have the perfect two people here to talk to us today about the All In initiative. But first, we have a video for you. So let's roll that video in and take a look at the program.
We're creating space for change,
progress, equity, reform.
This is a call out, a shout out, a reach out
to help small businesses, charities, and organizations that support equity deserving groups.
Let's promote progress by promoting your brand. We're all in. Dedicating our production resources and media platforms
to shine a light on your brand.
Apply now at allinforequity.ca.
Allinforequity.ca.
Okay, so who better to talk about the All In 2022 initiative than the Rogers Sports and Media All In manager, Sharon Hinds. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you here, and it's great to be able to sit down with you for a little bit and talk a little bit about the program. In addition to you, Sharon, we also have Marcin Zarek. He is the Rogers Sports and Media Senior Marketing Manager. Hi, Marcin.
Hey, how's it going? Super nice to be here.
It's nice to have you here. I'm actually, I do want to know a little bit about that marketing and how the initiative rolled out, not only last year, but this year. But I am going to start with Sharon and talk a little bit about the campaign. So Sharon, first of all, what is the All In 2022 initiative?
So All In is all about giving back to equity deserving organizations. So, as you mentioned, it's a really action-packed initiative focused on inclusion and diversity. And so it's all about amplifying the voices and showcasing the products of organizations who might not necessarily, these grassroots organizations that their voices might not necessarily be heard, in equal measure. So, at Rogers Sports and Media, we made it a priority. We figured we can use our media megaphone to really help these organizations, working with them using our media megaphone, amplifying their stories on a national and local stage through customized campaigns, which Marcin will get into later on.
Perfect. So and it's great to be able to, have Rogers Sports and Media take that megaphone, as you said, and be able to amplify what they're doing. Because often for not-for-profit organizations or for those grassroots organizations, that's where they have trouble kind of spreading the word and the awareness. So is that how this initiative got started, kind of that grassroots level?
So this initiative, if you think back to the events of 2020, yes, we were going into the pandemic. We didn't know what was really going to happen. But at that point in time, the true extent of systemic racism really came forward, and actually looking at it not just from a US, but a Canadian society as well, more generally. And at Rogers Sports and Media, our leadership thought that, we need to take these unprecedented and necessary steps to go even further. So our leaders listened to our customers, our staff. We had difficult conversations, created that space. So we thought about how proud would it be for us to use our multi-platform national megaphone to ensure that diverse voices are heard. And as such, the pilot campaign of All In was actually born. And that happened in October of 2020. It was Small Business Month, and we started off with 3 organizations: How She Hustles, Real World Film Festival, and Inspire Organization.
So really, it's a ripple effect in
Yes.
terms of, the growth of the campaign, but also just, and I'm trying to get the right words out. I think an organization, a company like Rogers, who has such an impact on our country and has such a diverse staff and employees and diverse customers, it only makes sense that they would extend that opportunity to be able to promote and create diversity and inclusion. To understand the campaign, and I know that it's not just the All In campaign, that this diversity and inclusion is really important to Rogers Sports and Media. So to understand the campaign, I think we have to understand that there are also 5 pillars that are under the umbrella of all of these initiatives. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So the pillars are business and community. So pillar 1 and 2 is all about business and community, and you touched on that. That's giving away a minimum of $10 million. So $5 million for business, $5 million for community in advertising and creative services to small businesses owned by BIPOC and equity deserving communities, and charities that support BIPOC and equity deserving communities. We also have our content pillar, which focuses on the diversity of thought, ensuring that our editorial content accurately reflects the unique composition of Canadian communities and we launched last year our Content Advisory Council, and we did some amazing programs such as Remember 929, which is a feature exactly 9 minutes and 29 seconds in duration, a crucial reminder at the same time George Floyd suffered on the ground. And also, other programs that we did was Level Up in partnership with Real World Film Festival and September 30th, National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. Our hiring and career advancement practices, we launched a Win with RSM initiative, really changing the way how we hire and removing credentialism from job descriptions with a goal of securing as many diverse candidates as we possibly can. We're looking at growing programs and recruitment strategies, not just internally, but externally as well, partnering with other external BIPOC organizations. And our mentorship and sponsorship is an opportunity to expand for young people from equity deserving communities, equipping them with the tools and resources for them to successfully enter and advance. We did a pilot campaign last year for the sports and media industry. And this is young professionals from Ryerson University and Brock University who were studying in the sports management field, brought them into an 8-week program and teaching them everything there is to know about not just how to present themselves in reels, but also how to interview successfully and resume writing as well.
Very good. So a lot that's happening, and the All-in-One initiative really is all-encompassing for each of those pillars and really what the mission and value is of Rogers Sports and Media and what they're trying to do. In order to kind of talk about what's going to be happening this year, we need to talk about the beginning. And I know that you mentioned October 2020 and having those 3 pilot partners. 2021, according to the press release, was really the inaugural year. And you had 550 submissions. Talk to me a little bit about that. It's obviously overwhelming.
Yes.
So many initiatives.
Yes, it was.
So
it was
how do you break it down?
Yeah, it was definitely overwhelming. It was great to see the enthusiasm and to see that so many organizations across Canada that really wanted the support. We were in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of businesses, as you know, are closed. And so what we did, we had a steering committee that was made up from across the Rogers organization. And we went through all of those 500 submissions. And, our final 5 partners were Black Biblio, Friends of Ruby, Canadian Women in Sport, Spirit North, and Big Brothers Big Sisters. It was so overwhelming that we also additionally profiled 220 businesses owned by women, LGBTQ2S+, Indigenous, Black, people of color, persons with disabilities as well.
Yeah, and it's amazing that you have created an opportunity for 205, which is amazing, but 550 submissions to have to whittle down into 205 is incredibly difficult, I would imagine, for that steering committee, correct?
Yes, it was very difficult. It was very hard. There were a lot of great submissions.
Very good. We do have a video that talks a little bit about those 5 partners. Want to play it for our viewers now, and then we'll bring Martin into the conversation to talk a little bit about not only that, but the marketing aspect of this campaign. So let's take a look at those partners.
We are so grateful to have been one of the Rogers All-In partners for 2021.
As a new organization, Friends of Ruby reached out to Rogers and the All-In program in order to increase our brand recognition within our community.
We had access to an incredible creative team of designers and people behind the scenes working to create the campaign for us.
To be able to demonstrate their commitment to diversity and inclusion, and demonstrate that there are other organizations, other companies working towards the same goal.
Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it.
They understood the importance of the message that Black Biblio had been created to share with the rest of the country, and Rogers is a great vehicle to do that.
While we're a well-established organization who works extensively with sports, our ability to reach parents and coaches who have such a valuable role to play was fairly limited, and Rogers really gave us an opportunity to have that conversation and to create engagement.
Through this partnership, we were able to launch a campaign that we would never have been able to get out into the market. Many, many Canadians put up their hands to donate and also to become a big brother or big sister.
We reached over 2 million Canadians with our message, which is unprecedented, unheard of in our 40-year history as an organization.
And really allowed us to share our story, share our work and our impact, and in turn generate awareness and potential support for the organization.
With the Rogers All-In program, we're also able to grow new donors and new supporters that really helped build the foundation for our Pride campaign.
If you have a story to tell, Rogers is the place for you. I would say that wholeheartedly.
I love it. What a great video to show the impact that All In has made for these organizations and can make for future organizations. Martin, want to talk to you a little bit about your involvement with the All In 2022. I can't even say 2022 with the All In initiative and what you have done as part of your role with Rogers Sports and Media.
Yeah, for sure. So my role in particular is meeting with each partner. We have a discovery meeting, and we really kind of want to define what success looks like and how Rogers Sports Media can help them. Really understanding their unique pain points or business problems or objectives and how we can really help. It's not really a one size fits all. So I think really kind of, meeting with them on a weekly basis, really understanding their community and their needs helps us come together with like a really solid marketing plan. And so we sit down with them, understand whether, donations is an objective, or is it increasing brand awareness? If it's growing their thought leadership, or just building more reach and traffic for their website. That kind of helps me build a brief for them. And so we do a campaign brief and then media brief, and we come together and we present a marketing plan for them based on their objectives.
Well, and I love that it is really not a cookie cutter initiative for each of these partners, that it really is that sitting down and finding out what their needs are and how you can best promote them.
For sure, yeah, and part of that we offered a brand lift study as well, and so we were able to do 3 different waves and really get an understanding of brand perception and brand awareness, and also likelihood to donate, and some custom questions that really help the partners as well. And so we really sit down with them and really understand, what they're looking to achieve. And with the brand love study, we're able to demonstrate and kind of show the impact that All In has for these partners. And it's really, really impactful for sure.
So that study, it not only does it really get Rogers Sports and Media to appreciate the success of the campaign, but it really kind of breaks down where the organization is heading and where they should be heading in order to best achieve that optimum awareness and recognition. Is that correct?
100%. Yeah. And so one of our partners, Big Brothers Big Sisters, they were relaunching their positioning. And so they were really able to see the perception of that across the year. And that really helped them with their, building of their positioning for sure. And so the data points that we give back to them really help them, not only for last year, but definitely their business plan moving forward.
Well, and that was my next question. It was, how does the success of this initiative affect the partners? And by having those tools, I would assume that that's a start for that success.
For sure. I think, those insights that we give them from the brand love study really help them of, gauging what the public kind of think about their company and likely to donate. We saw some really amazing results last year. So some of our partners saw 800% increase in donations compared to their previous campaigns. And so I think with the marketing plan that they're able to see some of the learnings that we have in terms of like what worked, what didn't, they're able to apply that for their future programs for sure. Yeah, and I think web traffic as well. We saw some really good results of like what kind of drives traffic, and some of the really impactful creative that we had, and some of the media megaphone that we use to drive those traffic is really going to help them for sure.
Right. And continue to help them, because I know, even with this year's press release, it has all of those partners listed. You have the promotional, the video we just watched. So it's this ongoing help of really raising their voice.
For sure, yeah, and I think we're now friends. It's just a true partnership and friendship. They definitely keep us posted of what their big bets are for this year, and however we can amplify, whether it's organically just on our socials or our other internal or external communication channels. We're open, and we're really ready to help them for sure. Spirit North, one of our partners, we went out to Calgary and we filmed the interview with the founder, and we're going to be spotlighting them this quarter as well. And so you're right, we are extending our partnership. We are highlighting the great results that we have for them this year, and then we look to help increase their brand awareness or amplify their initiatives organically throughout the year for sure.
And I know you've been kind of sprinkling in those results as we're having this conversation, but it really is impactful when an organization can see those tangible results, because often with a grant or often with an opportunity, you don't necessarily, that there's a reach, but you can't measure it, where there's solid information about that, 409% increase in reach with Canadians. It's those solid numbers that really speak to the impact of this initiative.
Yeah, and I think at the heart, as Sharon mentioned, this is really a action-driven initiative, and I think those metrics and those kind of key results definitely help us show the impact that we have, and I think that's our number one objective, is to really have it be drive action and action focused.
Right. You talked a little bit about sitting down and speaking with each of the organizations, and I know Rogers' reach and their umbrella is so large, so that marketing. And I know it was tailored to each of those 5 partners, but in terms of the initiative, who is the production team? Is it print? Is it television, radio? Is it all of the above, depending on their needs?
Yeah, I think it depends on their needs. I think, the 4 core kind of platforms that we do offer are TV, radio, digital, and out of home. And then depending on the different objectives, whether, being present in campus is more important for a Pride campaign or for, outreach to students, then we kind of heavy up on those out of home and campus. Or if the objective is more brand awareness at kind of like a upper funnel type of messaging, then, we look for TV or radio. So really kind of like looking with our media partners and defining and kind of providing that perfect media mix based on their campaign objectives. It's really the key.
Yeah. And, the more that we have this conversation, I realize it's like winning the lottery for these organizations. It's that awareness that they need, that, they're doing great things, but to launch them to that next level is just so amazing for the organization, and I would assume rewarding for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Tell me how you feel being a part of this initiative.
Yeah, it's a true privilege, honestly. Working with the partners and really understanding their communities. One of our partners, Dr. Dorothy Williams, every time I chat with her and her company Black Biblio, I learn something. I meet with her every week, and I have those kind of learning moments, and it's really, I don't take it for granted. It's a really big privilege, and it's quite inspiring. And also it's really rewarding to see the impact. We have those great results that we kind of saw from last year, and I think it makes it all really super rewarding. For sure.
Yeah. You mentioned Dr. Williams. She is my favorite in that promotional video because her personality seems infectious. So, spreading that joy and spreading that information, I think, is amazing. What's next for you in terms of 2022? Is it waiting for those submissions to come in so the work begins again?
Yeah, so as Sharon mentioned, we have our campaign live right now. And so we are using, our core kind of media, so TV, radio, digital, out of home. We're also amplifying organically. So, interviews and emails and social, and really trying to expand that reach and get as many applicants as possible. Sharon and I will be working on, announcing those winners in March and April. And I'm really excited to kind of meet the new partners and see how we can help them for sure.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us and for sharing the information about your role in the initiative. Sharon, I want to ask you a few questions. As Martin just talked about, the submissions are open, applications are open. So let's talk about the criteria. What do organizations need in order to submit those applications?
So thanks, Jennifer. To be eligible, you have to be a Canadian registered charity, non-for-profit organization, community organization. So local businesses owned by Black, Indigenous, people of color, LGBTQ2S+, persons with disabilities, and women, and or equity deserving communities that are eligible as well.
Perfect. And so once you realize that you are a part of that criteria, you are eligible to apply. The application is available on the website, correct?
Correct. So, we've truly this year, and Martian actually spearheaded this. We wanted to make sure we had an enhanced website that now gave the ability for our organizations to kind of, really leverage and show how and clearly identify how Rogers Sports and Media's All In initiative can impact and enhance their goals. So they can, when they're really going through the application online, they can upload any supporting documents as well to support that cause. And the deadline is February 13th to submit applications, and please apply at www.allinforequity.ca.
Perfect. So applying, is there anything that the committee is looking for in terms of that? We've already reached the criteria, but is there any eligibility or any different projects or initiatives that would be considered to be favorable for this initiative?
So projects that leverage or expand any existing community-driven initiatives that are supporting equity-deserving groups. And in some cases, when they come to the table, sometimes we learn they may have one idea, but listening to them, and as Martian said, we really clearly listen and ask them what is the drive for their business. So at that time, sometimes you come up with even something even different than what they might have initially presented.
Right. I hate to break this to you, but with 550 submissions last year and additional awareness this year, you may get more applications in. This may be more stressful for you to have to work your way through all of the submissions.
Yes, but you know what? We're looking at ways to really see how we can truly actually support even more organizations. That's something we're working through with our strategy team right now to really see how we can support more of these equity-deserving communities. This is important to us.
I recognize it's important, but it's not an easy job.
No, it's not.
No. And a personal question for you, looking through your bio, looking through the work that you've done, you do have a background in not-for-profit organizations. So there has to be, on some level, you recognize the importance of this initiative and this leverage to raise awareness. Is that correct in assuming?
That's correct.
Yeah. And, also it would help you in recognizing the needs for these organizations and perhaps what is needed as part of this initiative. That's correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Another question for you, as you work your way through this, and I don't know whether this is accurate or not, but last year, having 5 partners and then having an additional 200 profiles, is that kind of in the minds of the committee this year when they're looking, or is there an opportunity for you to kind of redirect some of these resources as you go along, as you determine the needs of the people who are applying this year?
Yeah, you actually touch a bit on that, because part of it is, yes, to look at it that way, but also to look at some of our other internal platforms to see how we can really support even more organizations as well. So
right, you want that reach.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Sharon, thank you so much for being on the show today. Really appreciate it. Lots of great information, and we need organizations to apply because that deadline is coming up.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thanks for having us both.
Yes, thank you for being here. Thanks to everybody who is watching at home. Allinforequity.ca is the website where you'll find all of that information. You'll find information about those partners from 2021. And in addition, you'll find the application form for you to submit your own application for the 2022 initiative. Thanks, everyone, for watching. This show is always for business and about business. So we appreciate you tuning in to find out a little bit of information about not only Rogers TV Georgina, but the Georgina Chamber of Commerce and Mind Your Business. For more episodes, for previous episodes, you can check on the Rogers TV YouTube channel, and you can look those up by topic. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Mind Your Business.